Hello YouTube, it's me, Michael B. Thank you so much for checking out the video, and in today's video, we're talking about a new competitor throwing its hat into the ring to compete directly with Arcade1Up. Is it Media1Up? Is it New Wave Toys? All these other companies that have been rumored to do it? No, it's a name from arcades past, Basic Fun, and I'm going to tell you more about it right after this. So that's right guys, in today's video we're talking all about a rumor that came up in the community last night coming from John D, indicating that the toy company Basic Fun, who have previously been in the arcade game, albeit the cheaper model arcade game, are now stepping up and putting their hat in the ring in the 3/4 scale market and above to compete directly with Arcade1Up. But before we get into that, I want to say thank you so much, everybody, for checking out the video. Guys, I always appreciate the support. If this is your first time to the channel and you like what you see, go ahead, subscribe. Click the bell for notification. All that YouTube stuff. I think it's pretty safe to say that one name has stood above the rest when we're talking about home arcade recreations in this community over the last couple of years, and that is Arcade1Up. Their tiny 3/4 scale at-home arcades allowed so many of us to build arcades in our home like we never thought would be possible. However, with the lack of releases in recent years, we've been wanting for somebody else to step up and enter this market. Now the big one we've all patiently been waiting for something to happen on has been New Wave Toys. Most of us in the home arcade community are huge fans of New Wave Toys products. Their quality is unmatched, their innovation is so cool, their machines are absolutely spectacular, albeit a little small for some people in the 1/6 scale, and we want something bigger. And Shiloh himself, as well as Glenn, who's currently doing some work with them, have indicated there are bigger things on the horizon, and the idea of a larger scale cab that will compete directly with Arcade1Up has excited many fans, but it doesn't look like any kind of large scale cab from New Wave Toys is anywhere imminent. Well, there was a big announcement that we all thought was going to be the large-scale cabs from New Wave Toys when they announced their GRS partnership. Unfortunately, for people hoping for a large-scale cab, it wasn't that, and what we got was, in fact, a mini Replicade 1/6 scale arcade with a GRS control deck that you could plug into it that would give you that at-home large-scale arcade control panel experience, but you weren't getting the full-size cab that a lot of people wanted. Now, this is the newest one they just currently put up, which is Crystal Castles. The one before this was Golden Tee. Crystal Castles has obviously been met with a lot more fanfare from 80s and, classic arcade enthusiasts. Golden Tee, not so much, but that was the product they were working on. We're still waiting on the larger scale arcade to hopefully happen. And according to Glenn Planamento himself, a lot of whether or not that's going to happen depends on how the sales of these control panels go. So we'll have to wait and see if New Wave Toys will bring this cabinet, large scale cabinet, to fruition. But then, like a phoenix rising from the ashes, a name from the past really marked his place in the home arcade territory when John D announced his new company, Media1Up, and he's indicating he is working on a home arcade product that will also compete directly with Arcade1Up. So people are really excited about that. Obviously, John has a reputation from his Arcade1Up experience. But unfortunately, during our announcement where we talked about the actual birth of Media1Up and what they were going to be doing, John himself was in the comments and indicated that for those of you that are excited, that's very cool, but don't expect to see a product coming out from him until at least 2025. So we still have a long wait until we could possibly see a product come out from Media1Up as well. So where does that leave us? It looks like 2024, the only game in town is still Arcade1Up. We are reliant on them for giving us larger scale 3/4 and above home arcade recreations for us to add to our game rooms or our home arcades. We have to wait until they bring out something that we're interested in, and it's looking less and less like that's going to be a possibility this year. However, last night during my chillin' chat, I actually received a message from John D indicating a pretty big rumor that he had heard that a company that we all know from the past, Basic Fun, was in fact also entering the home arcade market and may be coming out sooner than the other two companies we just mentioned. So guys, if you're not familiar with Basic Fun, let me just be clear. They're a pretty big-ass toy company. They're responsible for brands such as Hello Kitty, Light Bright, Care Bears, like very big toys. And this isn't their first foray into the home arcade space, albeit their previous product was a little cheap. So take a look here on the screen for an ancient video by our good friend Glenn Planamento showing off the original Basic Fun arcade machines, Pac-Man and Space Invaders. You may already be familiar with these. These were cheap home arcade products that you could usually find in Walmart for about $19. I think they were only like $20, $25 here in Canada. Originally, they had pretty poor screens, but they did eventually get a little bit better. A little later on, they brought in more products, more popular names. I think this was the first time I ever ran across a Basic Fun Arcade Classics. Was in fact the Mortal Kombat I remember seeing in Walmart, and I remember I hated the side panel art. I thought it looked really cheap, and I actually confused this for a long time with My Arcade, and I think that's why I've been so negative of the brand. But I talked to Glenn about it, and he actually said these things were pretty decent. So yes, Arcade Classics and Basic Fun have had a history in the home arcade space. They have a history making very cheap, very affordable home arcade products, not necessarily the best quality, but like Glenn said, they were fairly decent. And if you want to go back on his channel, there's some very long videos where he actually does Raspberry Pi mods on these Arcade Classics Basic Fun products. So go check them out. And if you want to know the big difference between Arcade Classics and My Arcade, go check out Gen X Gaming Grown Up. I definitely didn't say that right. Gen X Gaming Grown Up. I always get his channel name wrong. He actually does a bunch of reviews where he compares the Arcade Classics from Basic Fun to the My Arcade micro players and gives you a, side-by-side comparison. So go check that out, and you can see a noticeable difference in quality. I've got to give My Arcade props here. I mean, they're worlds better looking than the Basic Fun cabinets as they are. In fact, Basic Fun, even though I haven't seen them in a very long time, aren't exactly out of the small scale, cheap home arcade market, as they've recently produced 2 new units. We've got a Tetris unit, which I know makes Nostalgia excited. He loves that arcade Tetris. And we've also, down here, look at that, you've got a Tetris Gold, and then you've got a Tetris Red with a horizontal monitor. And then coming down here, you've got a Pac-Man Anniversary Collective machine. Let's see if we can go into it, get some more information, different images. Here's the side art. Yeah, that doesn't look good. And it has a horizontal screen on it, which also isn't so great. But yeah, anyways, they are still making these cheap, I think like $20, $25 home arcade products. I don't know where you can buy them. Apparently, Glenn told me Bed Bath & Beyond was another big distributor. But My Arcade definitely has some history there. But now let's fast forward to the rumor, and the rumor I received specifically last night was that Basic Fun aren't just doing these small-scale, cheap plastic home arcade recreations or home arcade products that you can buy at Walmart and other stores like that. No, they're actually looking to expand to a market where they feel there's a gap, and that is in the 3/4 scale and above market, competing directly with Arcade1Up. Now, the rumor specifically is that they already have a product in place and they're showing it off. What I was told was pre-show in LA. I don't know the event specifically, but I have to think it would have to be the Toy Association LA Fall Preview that happens September 9th to September 13th. I don't know if anybody went. They would have seen it because I was told it was at a closed door event, so I don't know if anybody has any information on this. If there's anybody in the retail world that, I don't know, wants to break embargo or share any information, it would be greatly appreciated, because what I'm told was shown off was 2 Atari products, with one of them being a Centipede XL. Now, as you guys know, I absolutely loved my original Arcade1Up Centipede. It had the correct screen orientation. I put a GRS trackball in it, and that thing was incredible. But stupid me, I was moving forward, getting new cabinets. I was a bit weird because I couldn't get a marquee for it. I decided to swap it out, and I ended up getting the Atari Legacy Edition cabinet with Tempest and the light-up marquee, and I ended up selling my Centipede, which is a decision I always regretted, because if you have the Tempest, you know that has a horizontal monitor. Then, of course, a couple years later, Arcade1Up brought Centipede back, and not only did they bring it back, but this time they went with the correct form factor, with the correct art on the side, with a light-up marquee. This thing looked absolutely beautiful, even had volcano buttons on it. But one massive problem, of course, was the screen. To fit the 14 or 12 or 14 games that actually came on it, with the majority of being horizontal, they made Centipede a horizontal screen game. And worse than that, if it's the same, I've never got a chance to play it, if it's the same version of Centipede that was on the previous Atari Legacy Tempest cabinet, it actually isn't in the right aspect ratio. So it's supposed to be a vertical monitor game. Here, instead of having, the little tiny vertical monitor game with everything looking right, they actually stretched it. So it looks terrible. Under no circumstances should any Centipede being sold have a horizontal monitor, but that's what they did. And also, we know during this generation of Arcade1Up, they also massively screwed up the monitors. They went back to TN, they went back to their original monitors. However, they did not know the manufacturer had actually changed the way the lighting works on those monitors, and we got some of the worst monitors ever included with an Arcade1Up product. So where does that leave us now? Hopefully, based on this rumor, we are getting an Arcade1Up XL Centipede Cab coming out from Basic Fun, coming to retailers soon. I mean, if they're already showing it off in the toy fair, maybe it's ready to go. Maybe we will get it before the Christmas holidays. Only time will tell. But keep your eye on Basic Fun to see what they release. And if you are looking to follow anything and everything Basic Fun, you can check out the Basic Fun Arcade Classics fan page. Set up and run by you-know-who, the person who set up and run like pretty much every single Facebook fan page for all these home arcade products, Glenn Planamento. Go check it out. I'll leave a link down in the description below if you want to check it out, and stay tuned for all the updates on what's happening with Basic Fun and will this large-scale product come to market. So before we finish off, I do want to just talk a little bit about the product and say, keep your expectations grounded when it does come to this product, because we don't know what we could be getting. Right now, we're told they want to compete in the 3/4 and above home arcade market. That doesn't necessarily mean we're getting flat out home arcade recreations. What they could be doing is making a product that's a larger version of this, which is not exactly what we want. I mean, if you look at the side of this, my arcade typically doesn't accurately match the graphics. They try a little bit, but as you can see, I mean, that side and the cabinet shape aren't exactly screaming Pac-Man to me, and the marquee itself isn't even the original Pac-Man marquee and stretched out to fit the shape of the cabinet. As well, I mean, it's Pac-Man, but they put it on a horizontal monitor, so I mean, if they're doing Centipede, are we going to get a vertical monitor? If my arcade is going to enter into this ring and make home arcade products, and if they want to be even remotely successful, make sure if you're going to do it right. Try to recreate those classic home arcades as close to what the original arcade looked like, or else this could be a stinker right out of the gates, because if it's just a 3/4 version of this, I can't imagine I'd be buying it, no matter what the price is. And, I mean, my Basic Fun's arcade products are typically built with plastic. So, you know, a lot of unknowns out there. If they do it, are we talking a wood cabinet build? How heavy is it going to be? How good is it going to be to feel? Or is it just going to be a big plastic cab? So anyways, guys, that's all we know right now, which is very little, but it does give us a little bit of hope. Another name stepping up with access to licenses, with a history of making home arcade products, putting its hat in the ring, and competing in the 3/4 scale market. I think you're all like me. We're not here to support a brand. We're here to support a concept and a product, and that is home arcade recreations. And if Basic Fun can do something really cool, I'm on board. I'm definitely going to be following. But we don't know what the quality is going to be like, what the build's going to be like. Are they going to try to recreate arcades accurately? What the price is? So many unanswered questions, but stay tuned and let's find out what they're doing. Anyways, guys, let me know in the comments down below. What do you think of this rumor about Basic Fun jumping into the larger scale 3/4 and above home arcade market? Are you excited to see another competitor come? Do you have confidence that Basic Fun can do some cool stuff, can make a competitive product to Arcade1Up in terms of quality and price? Let me know in the comments down below. Once again, thank you so very much for watching. This is Michael B. the Game Genie. I'll talk to you next time.